Now, for a lot of us, I think I remember when you guys came out around 92, 93. And
Yeah.
back then, I think a lot of us who I went to college in Alabama, so I was very familiar with Luke and Two Live Crew. But
Oh, okay.
that was the connection that we had from you guys in the early days. But it would be great just to find out how you guys started in music, just singing in general, and then we can just sort of work from there.
Basically, it started in my household. My uncles. My uncle was in a band. I had a few uncles and come from a musical background. My uncles were musicians and playing drums, bass, singers, guitar players. So it just started for me, just to watching my uncles, and my grandmother was a gospel singer. She sung, and my dad had a few vocals. It just kind of like just the influence came from my family. Just comes back their musical background and my family.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, my family is like I think I'm the first done of as far as singing wise professionally. We had a lot of my family was more into sports, so I think I was like one of the first breed to really kick off the music side of the generation.
Yeah, but when you think about that, as I said, I went to college, and even though I'm born in England, but I went to college in Alabama, and so I know that sports was very big in the States: football, basketball, baseball, and stuff.
Exactly.
When it came to singing, because even though you both mentioned that your families had singing, especially Shazam, where did you guys was the want to sing as opposed to playing football sports? What brought you to say, let me start singing, as opposed to let me play basketball and stuff?
Well, like I said, it started right there with our families, but it was groups like New Edition, The Boys out.
That, yeah.
Kind of The Boys, and I'm gonna say New Edition was one of the first groups that we really looked and admired, and was like, oh, we could do that. And then and The Boys was more like a group to and I thought it was over, like couldn't nobody make it as a kid. And then one day I seen The Boys, and I told my brother Dino, we can make it. They got some guys that are around our age, and they blew up. And that one made me start back singing when I seen The Boys, and then High Five had came out. I was like, oh, okay, hold on, we can make it as teenagers. We was very young when we made it. We was teenagers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Shazam and Dino are twin brothers, but then how did you know GI?
Well, we all grew up in the same project called the Fourth Missionary Project in Houston. So we've lived in the same neighborhood, same projects for since we was like maybe 8 years old.
Yeah, 8, 9, yep.
8 now. So we've been knowing each other by playing street football and stuff like that. And we both was into music. It's just that I was into the music with my little crew, and they had their own little crew. So we ended up going to a talent show. And that's how we got merged together as one group.
Okay.
But we didn't go to audition, to like
audition.
Audition.
Okay. The guy was looking for a group.
Yeah. Oh, somebody was looking for a group, and you came with 2 different groups, and he decided to put you guys together?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But then you already knew GI when you guys came. Was it easy to make that? Or was it just yourself and Dino? Or?
Well, the thing about it, me and Dino, we actually went there as a group, we went there, and we had another guy in our group, but the guy had went to jail over selling drugs in the Ing, and GI kind of was there just, GI was doing a lot of rapping at the time. He came there to audition, and the guy was like, well, I'm not looking for a duo, and I'm not looking for a rapper. So, he was like, well, in order for us just to really work, y'all need to find a third member. So our third member was more like, had went to jail. So we were like, well, what about GI? TLC had blew up then, and Left Eye was a rapper. So we was like, well, maybe GI could be more like the rapper of the group. But then GI was like, nah, I can sing too. So then we harmonized and go, oh, okay, the harmony is good. So then that's how we kind of formed. Because the guy was more like, I'm not looking for a duet, and I'm not looking for a rapper. I'm looking for a group And at the time, the boys and High Five was like the hottest male young teenager groups at the time. So duets was not in, and then a rapper was not in at that time. So that's how we kind of joined it together like that.
Okay. And so I didn't realize that it was somebody that was trying to put you guys together. Was he serving as a manager as well, or label, or what was the deal?
Label, record label.
Yeah, more of a label.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And at that point in time, so G.I., were you as infused about having a career in music as Dino and Shazam were? I mean, they were looking at New Edition and the boys and thinking we can do it. But did you think that, okay, I can have a career in music as well?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that's what I wanted to be in music. But in what general, it didn't matter to me as long as it was music, rap, DJing, singing, writing. I came in as a rapper and singing and writing. So I did everything. So what I made it at was singing.
Okay. Now I think,
and then we also looked at a lot of old heads, Teddy Pendergrass, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, Prince. So those are some of our mentors that we looked at. You know what I'm saying? The boys is more of like a group that we were like, oh, kids can still make it. We thought, and we had got to the point, I don't think kids can make it.
Yeah.
Since the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or since Jackson 5 or New Edition.
Yeah.
So then when they came along, it gave us hope that a kid or a teenager still can make it in this industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I spoke to Marcus from High Five a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about their journey as kids, how talented Tony was and stuff. But for you guys coming from Texas, I mean, we had was a rapper lot. I can't remember the name of the group now. Scarface and
Ghetto Boys.
Ghetto Boys, yeah. So, but from R&B though, apart from High Five, was there any other R&B group coming out of Texas? That's
at that time, no.
That was it. Yeah.
Not at that time, no. We the first R&B group to come out of Houston.
Out of Houston, Texas, and then High Five is the first group to come out of Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
Then there was another group back then. They didn't get as successful as us, but it was a group called Neutrons, and we used to look at them and we say, "Oh, those guys, kids can make." So it's like we seen those guys, all those groups make it as being teenagers. It inspired us. I don't know if you ever heard the Neutrons, but it's a group called the Neutrons, and they had a mini hit out there. We looked at them, but the boys. It was one of the main ones that influenced us. Because they were real young. They looked real young. You know
They were.
Yeah.
But then the influence, because the boys were very much, they had LA and Babyface doing a lot of their music and that type of, Bobby Brown, Karen White, that type of beat.
Mm-hmm.
The music that you guys, how did you guys then decide the sound that you guys were going to adapt? Was it the label guy that was managing that, or did you guys have a sense of the direction you wanted?
Well, we always studied that a lot of groups that was teen groups that they had it's hard to transition from a teen group to become an adult. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the boys was kind of experiencing that. We watched them go through that. So, we actually didn't really get a record deal until we was like 16, 17. Yeah. So we was like, well, man, we almost about 8. We were about to be 18. So I don't think we should come out singing Kitty, because that's just, even though we were 16, 17, but we was like, we seen the transition, how the boys was kind of coming down. They was 13 years old, and people were saying, oh, they old now. They trying to sing adult music, and it was just like, you still doing this kitty stuff. So we decided, look, man, let's just come out the gate singing like adults. And so that's why all our titles came out, Knockin' the Boots, Lick You Up and Down. And then when we hooked up with Luke, that's what Luke made Luke sign us. Luke, like, they some baby Lukes. So it's like we kind of looked at the other groups, went through that. Even High Five went through that team thing. Like while those groups was coming down, we was starting to come up. But we looked at it and said, okay, they're having a hard time switching from teens to adults. Like, look, man, instead of just saying we teenagers, let's just come out like out the gate as grown men, you know. So by the time we got there, Knockin' the Boots was out. We was all about 18 years old.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, but most importantly, to press the notification bell so that you can be notified when we do have a new interview. Loads to come, but thanks a lot for watching.